So of the 25 plus years I've been in the video business, 16 of those were spent with a company called Rhino Records. I ran their home video division, and we really developed it as a pop culture company. We're doing a lot of classic television shows before anybody bothered with television, a lot of classic long-form music, cult classic films, Mystery Science Theater 3000, things like that. I left them at the end of 2002 and started a company called Self Entertainment. We owned the Ed Sullivan Show, so I was involved with putting out the 4 episodes that the Beatles appeared on, which was a rather amazing experience because I grew up watching that. I got tired of working for other companies and making money for them, which is why I started some more. And the premise here is dealing with pop culture, old television shows, programming that most major studios wouldn't bother with because it deals with the collectors, it's not well known enough. Music, groups like B.B. King, Black Oak, Arkansas, Nazareth, a lot of old country artists. Again, looking back, dealing with a certain segment of the market that's not broad and mainstream, but there was a lot of people who have an interest in the product. I was working for my father doing architectural drafting. And I loved working with my father, and the only problem was I hated my father's partner, and the only person I hated more was my father's partner's son. And my best friend, who I'm still friends with, his uncle owned a record store, and I had the opportunity to go in and manage a new store he was opening. And I was in retail for about 2.5 years, and I always set a goal to work for a major record label. And I interviewed with Warner Brothers for a sales position, and they interviewed a lot of people. It came down to 2 people. He got the job because he had an internship previously at Warner. I eventually got a job at ABC Records, and it's sort of an interesting sidebar because the person who replaced me at the last retail store I worked at was a guy named Jack Sani. And the record store sold records, but they also sold guitars, amplifiers, things like that. And Jack always said he wanted to eventually get out of the record business and become a studio musician. So after working for ABC for a few years, I went back to the store and I asked the owners, where's Jack? Jack's working in New York, he's doing studio work. I figured that's great, he fulfilled his dream. Fast forward many years, I moved to LA, and this is probably 18 years ago, and I'm reading a review on Dire Straits performing in LA. And they're saying Mark Knopfler was his usual amazing self, but spectacular in his performance was guitarist Jack Sani. And I go back and I look at the video, and sure enough, there's Jack Sani. So he really pursued a dream, and he started at the bottom, and he found ways to work himself up. If somebody had told me when I graduated high school what I would be doing at this point in my life, who I'd be interacting with, all the things that I'm now doing, I would have said it's impossible, it'll never happen, and it can. I had a guidance counselor in high school who told me, you'll never amount to anything, you'll never be accepted at a college. And I guess success is the best revenge. And despite what people told me, I knew that there was an opportunity, and you really have to pursue the dream.